Given that the cotangent of t is equal to positive 3, and that the sine of t is less than 0, find the exact value of the 5 remaining trigonometric functions. The key thing that you need to realize here is that cotangent of t is positive, and that sine is less than 0. So of the 4 quadrants given, right here, actually before I go into that, cosine of t correlates to your x value, and sine of t correlates to your y value over here. So there are two possibilities for where the value of t, for cotangent can be positive. One of which is, where is my blue pen? That's not really related. Oh, there we go. There's my blue pen. Cotangent can be positive in the first quadrant over here, and in the third quadrant right over here. Because it's based on cotangent of t divided by sine of t, if it's positive, if both are positive, you'll end up in the first quadrant. If both are negative, they cancel out, but they're still positive values over here in the third quadrant. Sine of t, on the other hand, being just your y value right over here, can be positive in the first quadrant and second, whereas it'll be negative in both the third and fourth right here. So what this tells you is that your triangle, where you'll pull your numbers from, is going to be in quadrant number 3. You'll also need to use the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared, to find out what your values are. Given the fact that cotangent of t is equal to 4 over 3, you can use that to find out what two of your sides are going to be for the triangle that I'm about to draw, or I've already drawn but haven't shown you yet. So 4 will be your adjacent side to the angle, and 3 will be your opposite side of the angle. Now, given that it's in the third quadrant right over here, we'll throw a negative in front of both the 4 and the 3. It doesn't matter, because once you can't square them, you'll end up with positive numbers anyways. Negative 4 squared is 16. Negative 3 squared is 9. Add those together, you get 25. And that's your value for c squared. Take the square root of 25, and you'll be left with c, which is 5 if I didn't already state that. So again, for this angle right here, starting at the center right here, negative 4 is equal to your adjacent side, negative 3 is equal to your opposite side, and 5 would be your hypotenuse. And we found that by doing this right here. So, now that you've found all 3 sides and what quadrant it's in, you can find out what your values are. Sine of t is the I wrote these down wrong. I just realized I wrote these down wrong. If you switch these values over here, these ones will be right. So your sine of t is actually going to be 3 opposite over hypotenuse over 5, negative 3 over 5. Your cosine of t is going to be the adjacent side to the angle over the hypotenuse, so negative 4 over 3. So let me just switch this right here now so you don't get any more confused than you already might be. Cosine and sine. Tangent, on the other hand, is going to be the opposite side, negative 3 over negative 4, which will leave you with a positive 3/4. Now I'm assuming, because I got these two mixed up, that I probably got these two mixed up over here as well, cosecant and secant. Let's just check and make sure though. Cosecant is going to be equal to the hypotenuse over the opposite side. And I did indeed mess these up too, so let me just switch these up real quick. Secant will be right here, and cosecant will be right here. So secant will be equal to the hypotenuse 5 over the adjacent side, negative 4. And you'll be left with a negative 5/4 for the value of secant. Cosecant, on the other hand, is going to be the hypotenuse over the opposite side of the angle. So 5 over negative 3, negative 5/3. And cotangent is the other one that I also got right, which is negative 4, or, the adjacent side of the angle, over negative 3, which is the opposite side of the angle. And when you have two negatives right here, they just cancel out when you divide them. So cotangent, 4/3.